the first week of the month is really the week that you take it easy, okay? Deal with the credit enhancement people, because you just got paid, and the last week of the month is when you stressed out because closings got pushed, walkthroughs got pushed. So when that paycheck comes in, you pay your bills, take a couple of days off, take it easy, and then when that weekend comes, just put a bunch of CEP people on the planner, okay? So, and when you do it, try to group them together. So if you're gonna set an entire Saturday aside for them, try to get at least 3 or 4 CE people. Because why? Once you get into the routine, right, isn't the rest of them quicker? Don't your appointments actually get shorter if you do multiple CP appointments? The first one's like you want to tell them about everything, and it's an hour and a half, and then the next one, you get it down to an hour, and the next one is 45, and then the last one, 30 minutes. I'm out of here. Look, you get on a roll.
How not that good?
You get on a roll, okay? So the thing is maximize your time by FA. And you can do this. Say, hey, I pulled 15 credit reports. I got 10 people that need CEP. So you know what? The time of the month that I meet with the people that need help, it's going to be the first week. So in about another week from now, I'm going to call you back. And this is what else you're going to do. And we're going to see this on here. When you make your planner, always 1 week in advance. Always 1 week in advance. Okay? Because if you're doing it right, you always book the week that you're in. As soon as you walk into a Monday, you are totally booked. So on that Monday, if someone calls, you're booking them for the next week. Now, if an appointment drops out in the week you're in, then you call out to that second week and say, listen, I just got a spot this week. So you should always be busy whatever week that you're in, okay? So then if you say, well, I'm getting tired and I want to take off, you need to take off in that second week going out, okay? So, but for the CEP, don't let them say, well, I want to come in and see you on Saturday, and that's your only appointment. Because then you drive all the way up to the office, get all the letters ready, you sit down with one appointment, and then you feel like, I'm in the office now. Yeah, and then they cancel.
No.
So your odds are greater if you get a bunch of them in at the same time and just spend the whole day and just knock them out. Okay? Now, even before I was a Christian, I never really wanted to work on Sundays. So my thing was, I ain't trying to meet nobody on a Sunday because, you know, that's when, you know, the friends and people were always off. So, you know, to spend time with them, you know.
Pool.
Yeah. So, but okay. So it says CEP appointments should only be placed in prime showing times as a last result. What are prime showing times?
Saturdays.
Saturdays and Sundays. So the thing is, okay, if you booked with a bunch of showings, okay, or let's say that this weekend is coming up and you know you got qualified people and you got to drag somebody out to see some homes. Don't go putting CE people in there. Exhaust the qualified people first. And I'm going to show you a method that I use where if I got a bunch of qualified people, okay, going into that week, I write all their names down. So let's say I only have really 4 spots available to show and I got 10 people. I'm calling that list, and the first port before they commit, boom, I fill them in. The next people, if they call me back, too late. You have to wait till Sunday or you have to wait till next week for me to go out with you, okay? So, but if you're in the beginning of the business that you're in and you don't have showings 3 times on a Sunday or maybe 1 on Sunday, then you have no choice but to fill in what you can get, okay? So if you got CP, then you put them in, okay? CP appointments should be no more than 45 minutes. Hey, I know that people, you know, you got to minister to them, and sometimes they break down, they cry, and you're talking about the Lord. That's fine. That's the ministry part. But the technical stuff, hey, let me show you how loans work. Let me show you how credit works. 5 factors of credit scoring. This is what the letters are about. You know, I'm going to go ahead and put them in the database. You're going to mail it out on this day, secure credit cards. That all should be done in 45 minutes.
The other 2.5 hours are ministry.
Yeah. So then after that, if you got time and you want to stay and, you know, do that type of stuff, then 45 minutes, because what's going to happen is you're going to start to get burnt out, okay? CP appointments should never be scheduled in the last week of the month, most definitely, and explain it to them. Hey, say, listen, I always tell people, hey, in the last week of the month, okay, that's when most families are going to actually close in their home and move in and say, listen, I got to be there with them because anything could happen. These people should understand, okay? So don't let the pressure come on you that, hey, we got bad credit. Hey, if you got bad credit, it's been for 5 years, you ain't in no rush. Why you want to hurry right now? You know, so take care of the people that are on contract closing first. Okay, it says, CP appointment should always be verified the night before and 2 hours prior,
Yep.
okay?
2 hours.
2 hours.
45 minutes with me.
I know.
It depends on how far you drive it. Depends on how far you see. I used to drive from coast to coast. So for me, it takes me an hour to drive. So the thing is, I didn't want to drive an hour and then call them and then they say, hey, I'm not going to be here. So you call them the night before, okay? And this is what you want to do. You call, the first time you set the appointment, you tell them, I'm going to call you the night before and I'm going to call you the day of the appointment about 2 hours prior. If you cannot make it, you take it upon your own self to call me. Because if I call you and you don't answer, I ain't showing up. You're going to be showed up by yourself. So what you're doing is you're telling them up front when you make the appointment, okay? Then you call the night before. That gives them one chance to answer that phone. And you leave a voicemail. I'm calling you. I told you I was going to call you. We have an appointment tomorrow at 11 o'clock, okay? If I do not hear from you tonight, then I'll assume that you're not coming and I will not be there because I'll work on appointments only, okay? So they don't return your call. You get up in the morning, 2 hours before you got to meet them. You call them one more time. Hey, I'm giving you a call one more time. I called you last night. If I don't hear from you in the next 15 to 30 minutes, because remember, you got sometimes I drive an hour, so you're giving them a 45-minute head start to call you back. If they do not call you back, then don't show up.
Okay.
Don't show up.
You just need an out.
So what happens?
Okay.
What happens when they were gone? They didn't
Got
have
a
a
long
cell
drive.
phone at the moment and all that. Then they come up here and you're not here, and they
Their
complain.
fault.
And they complain to Sean.
Jimmy crack corn.
Their lack of planning is not your
Email
emergency.
them.
I'm with you. I'm with you all the way on it. But I'm
Yeah.
saying there's been incidents where I've called people and all the rest of that stuff. I didn't show up.
But you got to tell them when you first make the appointment, say, listen, this is very serious. I'm telling you one time only. Before that appointment comes, the night before, I am going to call you. Okay?
As long as you give it to them from the onset.
There you
Right.
go.
Yes.
Then you can't be held accountable.
All right.
So you give them 3 times.
She's like, here, sign this paper.
I'm preaching to the choir right now. I'm with you on it. But I'm telling you, some
Reply to
people,
this
I'm sure
email.
you're aware of, you'll do all that. They won't answer the phone. They'll show up here, then they wonder why you're not here. Then they complain to Sean.
Hey, that's
And
all.
then he's calling me.
And that's why you got the lone wolf
Get
system.
over here.
Make your notes. So, hey, it's their problem. And okay, they're going to show up. Now they stand in the office. Isn't it crazy? Sometimes they just show up in the office and all of a sudden now they want to call you while they're
Yeah,
standing
that
in the
happened the
office.
other day. I wasn't here. I told
Yes.
the lady she had death in the family. I said, okay, when you get situated and everything, give me a call. She decides to show up. Then it's like, okay, well, what? They make it seem like I haven't been doing my job. Because, you know, Sean's like, why are you just show up? You know, you didn't call him. Oh, I was in the area, so I dropped by.
Good for her.
Well, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Always tell people that you work on appointment
Only.
basis
The
only.
more you
Monday
tell them
through
that, I think the
Saturday.
more they don't listen.
Put it in your
I
tag.
really do think that, though.
By
You got to put
appointment
more
only.
excitement in your voice. You got to increase the
Is that what it
Say,
is?
listen
Yeah.
up. One time only.
I'm gonna
I
try.
only work at appointments
I'm gonna
only.
try it. The more you tell them that, the more they do the opposite of what you tell them.
Hey, it's on them, brother. If they show up and waste their time, they never make
As
that
long as you
mistake
tell
again.
them, Cedric, you'll be okay.
All right. I can live with that. I mean, I agree with y'all. That makes perfect sense in
Yeah,
everything you
and just
said.
tell them like that. Your lack of planning is not my emergency. That's my favorite phrase. to
Yeah,
tell
they
them.
have that in the barbershop where I go.
Yeah.
Okay, think
Put it
about
on your
this.
car.
If you have someone, okay, that is just, they died, and the doctor said, I have an appointment to be able to see you, okay? And the thing is these people, they don't get with the doctor and say, hey, I'm coming in. What's the doctor gonna do? Hey, well, your death wasn't, you know, your illness, it wasn't that important. So the thing is, you gotta understand, these people have a problem. We don't have a problem, we have a solution. So we have value. If these people don't respect our value, just like they respect a lawyer, an attorney, a doctor, then you know what? It's on them, okay? Because our time is too valuable. We got evidence. We have hundreds of thousands of people. So the thing is they have to respect us for our time, and we give them the opportunity. We'll give them our time, but they got to respect it. So 3 times they have a chance to back out. If they don't do right, then you know what? I'll show you somebody right now in 2008. Norma Manrique is in here. Now she's coming back.
Friday, 6
It's
o'clock.
2008. Wow.
CEP.
So,
Oh, man.
hey, that's respect, right?
Yeah, it seems like she went on around the block.
Yeah.
And on right back to you.
Okay.
And right back home.
You sure you want to put that on YouTube?
Okay, how to save time during the day to allow you to complete your day by 5 p.m. Okay. Now,
I'll edit it.
we're gonna open up this planner. Now you're gonna notice that there's a lot of good stuff in this planner that's gonna help you with real estate. All type of little calculations, and
Interest rates and.
you're gonna turn
Moved up.
probably like 4 or 5 pages, and you're gonna see a page where it says notes. What I've always used that for is anytime I had to remember numbers, passcodes, things like that, I would put it in there, okay? And every year, I handwrite it over and over, because it might be some codes I don't need to remember anymore.
Like super.
So like how to pull SARMA, the SARMA codes, my hard password, Supra, whatever, easy tag accounts, anything related, shackle codes. How many times people forget a shackle code?
You all the time.
All the time. And because I wrote it so many times, like you just asked me the other day, and I remember, I ain't used one of those codes for like probably since 2009, but I memorized it.
What's the shackle code?
You know the little
When you
super
have-
key box?
When you have a list and you have to put the box in
Okay,
it.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different code than what you use the
Yeah.
e-key. So, but the thing is every year I force myself to rewrite everything, handwritten. So if I'm on the street now, and I'm like, okay, I need to get a code, I need to do this or do whatever, I have it all listed here. And by keep writing it every year, and because you keep looking at the stuff over and over, you start to memorize it, okay? So that's what I use the note stuff for. There's a couple pages of note. The other thing is, now that you're self-employed, okay, one of the things that you're probably gonna forget, when the new year comes around, you gotta write your mileage down on your car. There's nothing more that'll make you upset when you go to do your taxes and you know you drove 50,000 miles for the year, but you can't document it. So what I do is, at January 1st, I put auto mileage and I will write down my miles, okay? So when the next year comes, December 31st, I'll put the ending mileage and I'll wait till I get my next planner and I'll put my mileage. Because when you do your taxes, don't the IRS ask you, either you gotta have a total miles that you drove or it's the start and beginning miles, okay? So make sure you put your mileage down, okay? Now, we're talking about structuring the day. This is the number one problem that self-employed people have, is they just got so much free time that they just shoot from the hip about what, you know, what they feel they should do during the day, okay? What I did when I was selling homes, okay, is I would structure the week, okay, keeping in mind that there's certain things that have to be done, like the most important things. To me, to be able to close, you know, 30, 40 homes, I need to physically see somebody, eyeball to eyeball, at least minimum 3 per week, okay? And my logic behind it, if I meet 3 people per week, and we got 4 weeks, sometimes you got more weeks, you know, in a month, then how many people would that be? 12. 12 people. I didn't say, well, it can only be good qualified buyers, because you can't predict the good qualified buyers. So if you had 12 people, whether they're bad credit or not, okay, the numbers are on your side. 12, then 24, and then 48. By the end of the year, you can meet so many people that, let's say you met 180 people, you're going to get about 30 contracts out of that, okay? So if I looked at my weekly planner and I color coded it, okay, yellow was for showings, okay? I used pink. You can use whatever color you want, but you know, yellow to me is always something good. To me, red or orange is like, it's not too great, okay?
CP.
And this just stands out. This is closings. The priority goes, if you look at your planner, closings always come first.
Oh, the green.
Showings always come second, and then CP comes last, okay? So when I look at my book and I say, wow, I got 2 yellows, yes, because out of the 3, 2 of them are showings and only 1 is CEP. So what it does in my mind, it tells me, no matter what happens during this week, my goal is to get face-to-face with 3 people. Now we know that maybe somebody will cancel out on me. So I'm going to go above and beyond for that week, because remember, I'm scheduling 1 week out, right? So if I have people lined up here, it's probably because the week prior, I did a bunch of activity. Let's change this week. So let's say these people have a showing on Saturday at 10, a showing at 2 on Saturday, and a showing on Sunday. These right here, most likely I captured them from the activity here. So the thing is, I don't ever want to go into a Monday and not have this, because that means I got to work harder during these days. That means I might not get a day off, okay? So always plan 1 week in advance. So the way I do it is, and I'm just going to use 2 examples. If you can see this, you can put down what you're going to do and make sure you block out enough hours to allow you to accomplish those things. Not barely accomplish, where you have extra room in case things come up. So if you say, I got to go all the way to Long Lakes Title to get a check, that takes what, about 45-minute drive? Okay, and then you got to come all the way back to your side of town, put it in the bank. That's 2 hours, right? Give yourself 3 hours, because you never know what can happen. And the thing is, you don't want to be this person that, I got to hurry up and talk because I'm going to be late for my next appointment. Oh, I got to do this because no, you don't want to be that. You always want to be done with your appointment. Okay, relax.
Get a
Maybe I'm going to Starbucks. So,
Don't get tickets on your way there,
Better-
like me.
and just remember, there's only so much time in a day. Okay, certain things can wait to the next day. Okay, my goal is when I got up in the morning. Okay, I wanted to start my day at 9, and I want to be totally finished by 5, because after 5, that's my time. Okay, and I just want to hang in, kick back, watch TV, do whatever. So I structure my day to maximize my activity between the hours of 9 until about 5 o'clock.
Oh, I love those days.
Okay, so as you can see, if you guys want to kind of huddle around real quick,
I just showed our class.
like in the morning, let's say I want to go to the gym, I block it off, and I don't deviate from that. Okay, so the thing is when I put it down, it ain't changing unless something like this priority, okay, maybe the showing priority. Okay, so if I know that I got to follow up with leads, okay, I'm going to set maybe an hour and a half. Okay, give me a little drink, coffee or something, and I'm going to blow through following up as much as I can in that hour. When that hour comes, cha-ching, I'm done. I stop. Then I go on to my next thing. Okay, maybe it's running credit. So I might have 5 or 6 pre-quals. Now, what I used to do is I would write the names, because you have a filing system of all your CEP people coming out. So you pull the files, you got them on your desk, you see the names, so you can either have them on your desk or you just write the names down. So during that time, I just pull credit, email them the credit report, type up a nice email, this is your scores, this is the next step, take a look at it, I'll call you later on, we're going to go over it. That's all I did. Okay? I don't care if somebody called my phone. If that's the time to pull credit, I'll put the phone to the side. I don't let nobody distract me. Okay? So then, let's say I set from 2:30 to 4. Set appointments. Okay? Go through my database, through my activity, who I need to set appointments. Or let's say I ran a credit. Now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? You just pull someone's credit out of CP and it's a 700 score. You go set appointment mode, right? Set appointment. So my thing is, oh man, I've already got too many people. What am I doing? Going out the next week. Great. So by the time I get to Monday, I don't have to hustle here because I've already got everything lined up. Okay? I got the church. Like, if it's my day off, I either put a line. Now, you can put straight lines, just like this. Okay? I've done it both ways. Or I do this way because I like to write on the lines. Okay? Now, this will be an example of someone, CEP. Okay? And I call verify. And these people say, you know what? I'm not going to be able to make it. If they tell me that they not going to make it, what does a good salesperson do?
Reschedule and try to figure something out.
There you go. So that's why you always got to have it. So when they call and say, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it, wait a minute. Let me get my planner. Get your planner. Now you take a choice. So you know what? I got a spot for 5 o'clock. You're going to be able to do it. Because if not, then you probably going to have to wait. Because I know my agenda. Because I'm looking in advance. So what I'm going to do is I circle it. I move them over and I write it. Okay? The reason I do that, I don't want to give myself a false idea that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, I want to get in front of 3 people. When I do these appointments and I knock them out, I cross it out. So let's say I'm so busy, 3 weeks go by, a lot of people no-show me. We're supposed to go look at homes. I'm like, man, I got 2 spots next week available. What am I going to do? Go back, see if there's any yellow that haven't been crossed out. Wait a minute. I was supposed to show that guy 2 weeks ago. Man, I wonder what happened to this guy. Let me call him and see if I can put him into a spot coming up. okay? So exit out if you accomplished it. If they didn't show, circle it, move it over to the time of your choice. Now, on a Saturday, what I do is I structure a Saturday where the first appointment's 10, 2, and 5. Because what time the buildings close, especially in the summer? 7, but they'll stay open till 8 because the sun's up until what, 9 in the summer. So what I do is I set the agenda and they're gonna have to fit in to my plan. So I tell people, when I show homes, I show on Saturday. I always have 3 openings, 10, 2, and 5. The gap in between, for a 10 o'clock appointment, I'm always on the road at 9 to get to the building, okay? Because let's say if I'm driving from Katy and I gotta go all the way to Humble, about an hour. You could be anywhere in the city of Houston in an hour, right? So on a Sunday, remember I start my day at 9. I'll spend that 9 o'clock, or Saturday, I'll spend that time on the road, and I will be in that model home, sometimes even beat the salesperson there, waiting in line. Because I'm cautious about my time. These gaps give me 3 hours. If you're showing homes in Humble, can't you knock out maybe 2 or 3 builders in 3 hours?
Yes.
So my thing is, bam, 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 okay? I have their folder, I've already printed out. Before I went, each community, each floor plan, the incentives, I already spoke to the salesperson, he knows I'm coming already. So what I'm doing is I'm taking those files of only those 3 people, like I see you carry a whole bunch of files. I only carry the files of the people I'm meeting with that day. Okay, so, because they're gonna be my priority. So my job that day is to take care of these 3 people. I don't care about nobody else. Because they need to be put on my plan.
But what if someone calls you?
That's
And you
the
need
same
to get
thing
their
I
file.
do.
I mean, I have to have their file. They call me and I need.
Dropbox.
Pardon me? Dropbox? Okay.
Like you can track it on the phone. Millie has like a big case that she carries with files in the car.
Yeah.
So she doesn't like bring it into the office. But the thing is the people that you're working with that day, I put that file, like, because I'm driving by myself, their 3 files is in the passenger seat. So, because they're my priority. Now, the rest of the people's file, either in your home office, or if you have a big carrying case that you can put your files in.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to zone out. I don't want to know nothing about no one else. My job is I'm coming back with 3 contracts. I'm going to show homes, and that's it. If I don't get that done today, then to me, I failed. So everything else, I totally block it out. So that's what this is about. When you have a certain time to do a certain thing, you block everything else out. Okay, your phone blows up, and a lot of people put a voicemail. Most of the stuff you say is